2, 1.
I thought dude was gonna take it. I thought dude was
Why
gonna.
did you think I was gonna take it when
Holy
you
shit!
said
You know
I
what? Fuck
got
it.
it.
Welcome, welcome to Gamers 100. No, I got it. Welcome to Gamers
I
100,
got it.
everybody. On today's show, well, this show is basically gonna be a show talking about like average gamers and how they feel about games that's coming out or new updates that's coming on within the gaming industry. Talking about certain aspects going into the new recent purchase of Respawn Entertainment by EA. New games coming out such as Star Wars Battlefront 2, updates on Fortnite, For Honor, League of Legends, and things such as that. Today I have with me on my co-hosts. We're missing two, but I'm gonna go ahead and let them get them in their introductions.
Hey, this is your boy Cross. You know, the best person out of the group right here. I'm the
Jesus
person with
Christ,
all the
already.
knowledge. Yeah. You
Yeah,
already
already
know what was
started.
coming up.
Already.
You already know what was
Already
coming up. I'm the person that you're gonna be talking to and you're gonna be agreeing with the most. Okay,
Nah.
so I'm gonna let Crow go and introduce himself
Papa
since
Cross cut.
I just laid the floor out for me. You know.
Right,
Oh yeah,
right.
Cross.
Alright.
Yeah, AKA.
Yeah, cross the Joe Budden, the bullshitter. Yeah.
Hey, I'll take that round with this one. You know what I'm talking about?
Give you a goddamn introduction, Cole. Come on. I can't deal with this.
Yeah, it's your boy Crow. You know, I'm the youngest out of the group. You know, I'm also the least amount of ignorance out of everybody. You know, so I'll try to keep it
okay.
leveled,
Wow.
build it. You know,
Them shots.
I'm also gonna be arguing with this Joe Budden ass nigga the most.
Them shots. Hey.
Yeah.
So, by the way, my name is Major Wu-Tang, a.k.a. Blame Wu-Tang, a.k.a. they like to blame me for everything that they can't do right. Today, so our first discussion is going to be talking about multiplayer games. So, let's get it started with, I believe, since we're already here, Battlefront 2. I think we've all played the beta. Me and Crow done spent like 8 hours doing the EA freaking access one where you get 10 hours free. I've had a pretty good time on it. I think it's some things that they need to change, but hey, I'm gonna go ahead and let Crosscut say what he gotta say before I rebuttal, because I know he got some ignorant shit.
Nah, what's up? So I'm just gonna be the ignorant person on here today, huh? I ain't really got. Is it because I'm, you know what? Never mind. But I really ain't got too much to say about Battlefront, you know, except stuff that's in the past. I just don't like how Battlefront has actually come about because
I agree
to
with that.
me personally, I kind of feel like the first Battlefront was just something that
Nah.
they put out just because they knew it was going to make money because it had
was
the Star Wars.
It was
name.
the ultimate beta testing game. Like they can put out for $60 and just be like,
It was a money
here,
grab.
take this, and it has Star Wars on it. There you go, play it to your heart's content. Oh wait, you can't play it to your heart's content because we don't have enough content. You see what I did there? Yeah, boy. But go ahead.
Ugly.
But yeah, like cause it was like literally like for people who actually played that game. Now, you know, Woo might feel a little way about me not buying Battlefront 2 right off bat, but I mean, I was an avid player of the first one. You know what I'm saying? Like I was.
Hold on, wait. So
player
when you
of the
say first one,
Hey.
now you gotta clarify when you say first one, because like you got the
Okay,
first
well,
series
I
of
was an
Battlefronts,
avid-
and then you got
the
these Battlefronts that they just threw out there to kind of like BS us. But
Well, the previous Battlefront, the previous one. I was an avid player of that one.
you not been what previous one?
The most recent one.
The
Woo.
reason okay, because you
Well,
said
like,
previous.
what
I need
okay.
clarification. As me,
Maybe we need a little dictionary here. Previous mean the one that came before it.
Previous. Come on.
okay, all right, whatever.
Like,
Whatever.
think about it. All right, continue, Cross.
Okay. So when it first came out, I really liked the game, but it was because of my constant playing that the negatives start to really glare at you, and it wasn't even just content, it was just lack of effort, period. Like it was literally a lack of effort in that game. Like you had so much overpowered stuff, so the maps was laid out to a point where one team had a distinctive advantage.
You're not gonna like the new one then.
You know,
you're not gonna like the new one then, because it's like, hey, the new
well,
one's so one-sided on certain things.
That brings up another topic. That brings up another topic of how this generation don't know how to make maps.
That's true.
Halo was a prime example of that, but I think we're getting off game. I think we getting off.
I mean, we can go into that territory too. We can go into that territory too, because like if you talk about map design, like, excuse me. But when you talk about map design, like I did game designing, and I did game designing, and as far as like that was one of our classes where we had to do map design, and certain people in the class had good maps and certain people didn't, and you make like multiplayer maps that are kind of balanced on each side, so everybody has a chance to actually win or lose. Like nowadays, it just seems like games are just one-sided. Like you get this, you get this higher side of the map, then you got the advantage, vice versa. But like if like Halo, like you was about to bring up, like Battle Creek for instance, if you go into Halo Battle Creek, oh my god, like that's a even map. That's why it's one of the favorite maps in the Halo series, because you can actually, each person has a chance to go up there and grab the rockets and have a big battle. But yeah, I'm just saying.
But that's my point about that. That's my point. Like that's why I brought up Halo specifically.
Yeah.
Because Halo specifically is they've had so many maps over the years. And even if they had new iteration of the game, it's still the same maps. That's the ones that's popular.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that is that's almost a fail. It's almost a fail in my eyes, because you got a whole new game, a whole new system, but people still going back to the same map designs from back in the day. And maybe that's nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the nostalgia got a part to play in that, but I don't know, because see, me, if we're gonna talk about Titanfall, me as far as map design, I think map design in Titanfall was well thought out and well designed. For even though the criticism that Titanfall gets, I think that they map layouts was very intuitive on what they had to go through and deal with. You never really you always had. What you mean? I don't know another word to describe.
No, I'm just saying.
So y'all, you really think I'm ignorant? Huh? Okay.
Nah, I'm messing with you. I'm joking.
Intelligent person here.
God,
very intelligent person.
Look at this. Oh God. But not Titan.
Shut up and keep talking.
See, but I like Titanfall. Now Titanfall is a good example. The one reason I had a problem with Titanfall 1 because I played it on both PC and console, and it just, again, that was a lack of content in video games, which comes down to be my main big problem with gaming in general. Like I don't feel like most games now. Like I don't feel like, and that goes to Battlefront 2. I don't like the fact that they give us these half-ass games and then make us test them out and then give feedback, and then they come out with a whole game. So we just paid $60 plus DLC that we want about the season pass and stuff like that, and we keep going back into that
Not
cycle.
to interrupt you, but that's the problem, because we don't get the whole game. When the last time you got the whole game? Like, really, think about it. When the last time you actually got a whole finished game, everything in there that needed to be done?
I'll get back to you. I gotta think for a minute, because
they didn't even do that with Final Fantasy, and that was the first time I've ever played a single player game that wasn't completely done. I was like, what? Like what? Yeah, like if you serious?
I'll say
story?
my last complete game was Dragon Age. Well, not complete. They had DLC, but I'll call it expansion pack, so they expanded on the story. My last complete game was Dragon Age Inquisition. Like that was a full 150 hour single player game.
Complete. That's what I mean by complete. I mean by everything that needed to be in the game at the time was in the game. Nothing felt like it was tacked on. Nothing felt like, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, we gonna put this in. Like DLC was actually DLC, because I have a love-hate relationship with DLC. I really do, because I come from back in the day gaming when DLC was something that just added this whole new thing to gaming. As like almost on the same level of PC when somebody mods the game and keep the longevity and everything going. Prime example of that is Red Dead Redemption with the zombie thing. with the zombie DLC.
That wasn't DLC. That was, well, I guess that's DLC, but that was a great
Technically.
DLC. That was good DLC. So like, remember how we used to have expansion packs instead of DLC, and that's what they was called, expansion packs. They would expand on the game. Like when the Halo, what was it, Halo 2? Halo 2, their online, they had a complete multiplayer. The game was perfect, but in order to keep the fans happy and keep them playing their game and thanking the fans, they made an expansion pack. Now, okay, I believe that Halo 2 was the first place where DLC first started. That's bottom line. I think Halo 2 is where DLC first started because they made those new maps for Halo 2, and that's where people start buying them. But they gave us some for free just to be like, yo, here's to the fans. Thank you. These are expansion packs or new maps for you to play on. You welcome you. Thank you, fans, for fucking playing our game. But then, they started getting overboard where they started just charging, and everybody's like, oh shit, we can charge for people to buy more of our game that we should have put on in the first place. Now, what was that one game, Dion, that you always talk about that had the full game on there? You just had to buy to unlock it on the disc. I can't remember which one it was, but you always talk about it. What is up?
It had the. Say that again.
It was
the full game on there, but
the whole game. So
you have to buy it to unlock it on the disc.
So you had the disc, you buy the disc, and then the full game's already on the disc. You just can't access it. You have to go online to actually purchase the DLC that's already on the disc, and then they give it to you.
I forgot that. I just know. I just remember the Street Fighter BS, and that was one that hurt people everywhere. So. What was that game? Because that's basically just like the Street Fighter BS, and that was the first time that they seen that was the most horrible thing that they could do.
Yeah, that's
because it crushed that game. Like they basically, for the people that don't know, they basically had characters on the disc already, like they was already made already on the disc and stuff, but they was just locked behind a DLC paywall. So you was paying money not to actually download actual work and hard work from actual developers and coders and all that stuff. You were just paying to unlock this character that's already on the disc that you already bought for $69.99.
And I
US
think that's
dollars.
complete
like
bullshit. That should never happen. That's a spit in the that's a spit in the face to people who play video games. That's a spit in the face to gamers.
That's a huge spit in the face. And speaking on Street Fighter, let's talk about like the most recent one. How they released the game. Game got released. You had no arcade mode, no story mode, nothing.
No story mode, nothing. It dry as
none of that.
And
so what they do
they did it to a daily.
Instead of putting all that on the, they literally said, you know what, we're gonna wait like 2-3 months, then release the story mode. Do that, and they still add more characters that you have to download, you have to buy, and after that, people are still asking when are we gonna get an arcade mode. It's been almost 2-3 years since the game dropped. And they just now talking about arcade mode, which no Street Fighter fan still hasn't got.
Damn.
But they showed. But that brings up another question though, because that shows you two things. Okay, that shows you that if you whatever's happening behind the scenes, if you work on your game, if you have some passion in it, that you can still keep the fan base alive.
This is why I love Dragon Age Inquisition. This is why I love Dragon Age Inquisition. Because so you got Dragon Age that came out that was full of content. Even with the DLC, it was worth buying the DLC because it expanded on the story, it got you new players, and it gave you more to actually do on the game. That's a single player game. And then you got Dragon Age 2, which they brought out, which EA forced them to bring out like a year later or some bullshit like that, a year or two later, and it didn't turn out to be a good game. Like the content was lackluster. The combat was great. They upgraded the combat and they made it awesome. And then they took a minute and they actually listened like to the fans. BioWare listened. And it was like, yo, I don't want to bring out another game with that lackluster content because I don't want people to keep going through the same caves over and over and over again to get the same, not even the same effect. And
because that's boring.
It's boring. Yeah, it's boring bullshit. But then you got Dragon Age Inquisition, where they took, I think it was like 4 or 5 years. They took a minute for Dragon Age Inquisition to actually be remade. Come out. And it took a while. And then when they did it, they took their time. They made everything perfect. They put love, care, and passion into the game, and it came out. And what did it do? It won Game of the Year. It won Game of the Year. It was a 150 hour game that won Game of the Year because they put their time and love into it.